Jinger Duggar shares rare video with mom. In California. Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I am Elena and I hope you are well. If you like the video, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Jinger Duggar. Volo will give birth to her third child, a son, very soon. Her mother Michelle is currently visiting the Volo's home in California ahead of the birth. Although Jinger has recently spoken negatively about her experience growing up in the IBLP, she doesn't seem to hold much animosity toward her parents. In fact, she seems relieved to have Michelle around as her son's delivery day looms. Jinger Duggar. Volo enjoys a shopping trip with her mother. Jinger Duggar. Volo is expecting to give birth any day now, but she isn't sitting around idly. Since Michelle is in town, they decided to spend some quality time together. In such a large family, that's not always easy to do. Why just sit around waiting for baby boy to arrive when you could be out shopping with your mom instead? We found the cutest spring and summer dresses, Jinger posted on Instagram, attaching a video of the women browsing through the children's section at a clothing store. They found several outfits for Jinger's daughters, Felicity and Evangeline. I'm out shopping with my mom. We went to thrift stores, TJ Maxx, got coffee. A heavily pregnant Jinger shared in the video. We found 4 of the cutest dresses. I got these the other day at TJ Maxx with Joy. They were so good, I had to come back and get more. I had some of these years ago, and they've lasted for years, and I've passed them down to our friends, so guys. Seriously, TJ Maxx for the win.
Family of TLC's *19 kids and counting has recently made headlines after confirming that her children are no longer attending public school. This decision has sparked significant debate among fans and critics alike. While Jill's choices as a parent have always drawn attention due to her high-profile upbringing, this particular move seems to have ignited strong reactions across social media platforms and beyond. The announcement came quietly, but was enough to stir curiosity. Jill revealed through an Instagram post that she and her husband, Derek Dillard, had decided to pull their kids out of the traditional public education system. She expressed gratitude for the time they spent in public school, but emphasized that homeschooling felt like the right choice for their family moving forward. The couple cited several reasons behind their decision, including wanting more control over their children's curriculum, fostering a closer-knit family environment, and instilling values they believe align with their faith and lifestyle. For many followers of the Duggars, this shift might not come as a complete surprise. After all, Jill grew up in one of the most famous homeschooling families in America. Her parents, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, famously homeschooled all 19 of their children, adhering to strict Christian principles while prioritizing hands-on learning tailored to each child's needs. Given her background, it seems natural that Jill would consider following in her parents' footsteps when it comes to educating her own offspring. However, not everyone sees this move as a positive step, or even a logical one. Critics were quick to voice their opinions, flooding comment sections and online forums with skepticism about Jill's decision. Some questioned whether removing her children from public school was truly in their best interest, pointing out the importance of exposure to diverse perspectives and experiences that public schools can provide. Others accused Jill of isolating her kids within a bubble, suggesting that shielding them from broader societal influences could hinder their ability to navigate the real world later in life. A common refrain among detractors is that homeschooling often limits opportunities for socialization, which is crucial for developing interpersonal skills and emotional intelligence. Another point of contention revolves around the motivations behind Jill's choice. Many critics argue that her decision may be rooted less in educational concerns and more in ideological ones. As members of a deeply conservative Christian household, both Jill and Derek have been vocal about their desire to raise their children according to specific religious teachings. For some observers, this raises questions about whether the couple intends to use homeschooling as a means of indoctrination rather than fostering critical thinking and open-mindedness. Critics worry that such an approach could leave the children ill-prepared to engage with differing viewpoints or adapt to secular environments in adulthood. Additionally, there's the issue of academic rigor. Homeschooling, though increasingly popular, remains a polarizing topic because its quality varies widely depending on the parent's commitment and capabilities. While some homeschooling setups rival or exceed traditional schooling in terms of structure and challenge, others fall short, leaving gaps in students' knowledge and preparedness. Critics fear that without proper oversight or accountability, Jill's children might miss out on key aspects of a comprehensive education. They also question whether Jill and Derek, neither of whom appear to have formal teaching credentials, are equipped to handle subjects like advanced mathematics, science, or foreign languages effectively. Supporters of Jill's decision, however, see things differently. Fans of the Duggar family applaud her choice, viewing it as a testament to her dedication as a mother who wants to prioritize her children's spiritual and moral development. They argue that homeschooling allows for a more personalized approach to education, enabling parents to tailor lessons to their children's unique strengths and interests. Supporters also highlight the flexibility homeschooling offers, allowing families to incorporate field trips, hands-on projects, and other enriching activities that traditional classrooms might struggle to accommodate. Moreover, defenders of Jill's decision stress that homeschooling does not inherently mean isolation. Many homeschooling families actively participate in co-ops, sports teams, music lessons, and community events, ensuring their children still interact with peers regularly. In fact, some argue that these interactions can be more meaningful than those found in overcrowded public schools, where individual connections often take a backseat to institutional demands. Despite the ongoing controversy, Jill appears unfazed by the backlash. In subsequent posts, she has reiterated her belief that every family should have the freedom to choose what works best for them. She encouraged her followers to focus on supporting one another rather than tearing down decisions they don't fully understand. Her message underscores a broader cultural tension between personal autonomy and societal expectations, a tension that shows no signs of easing anytime soon. Ultimately, Jill Duggar's decision to homeschool her children reflects a complex interplay of personal values, familial traditions, and practical considerations. Whether her critics approve or not, the reality is that education remains a deeply personal matter, shaped by countless factors unique to each family. What works for one household may not work for another, and imposing rigid standards risks overlooking the diversity of human experience. Still, the conversation surrounding Jill's choice highlights important questions about the role of education in shaping future generations, and how society balances individual freedoms with collective responsibilities. As the debate continues to unfold, one thing is certain: Jill Duggar's journey as a parent will remain under intense scrutiny, reflecting broader anxieties and aspirations about parenting, faith, and the evolving landscape of modern education. Michelle Duggar had always been a woman of faith, resilience, and unwavering devotion to her family. When the news reached Arkansas that Jinger, her fourth child and one of her beloved daughters, was preparing to welcome her third child into the world, Michelle didn't hesitate for a moment. She packed her bags with care, folding neatly pressed dresses and practical essentials into her suitcase, all while praying fervently for safe travels and a smooth delivery. The journey from Northwest Arkansas to Southern California would be long, but nothing could keep her away from this momentous occasion. The drive to the airport was quiet but filled with anticipation. Jim Bob, her husband of nearly 4 decades, accompanied her partway, offering words of encouragement as they discussed their excitement about meeting their newest grandchild. Though he couldn't join her on the trip due to prior commitments at home, his support was palpable. "You tell Jinger we're so proud of her," he said before giving her a warm hug goodbye. Michelle nodded, touched by his thoughtfulness, and promised to pass along his love. As she boarded the plane, Michelle felt a mix of emotions swirling within her: joy, nostalgia, and even a tinge of nervousness. It wasn't just another flight across the country, it was a pilgrimage of sorts, a chance to witness the miracle of life once again. Her mind wandered back to when Jinger was born, the memories vivid despite the years that had passed. She recalled holding her tiny daughter for the first time, marveling at how God had blessed their growing family yet again. Now, here she was, preparing to stand beside Jinger as she embraced motherhood herself. The flight offered plenty of time for reflection. Michelle gazed out the window, watching clouds drift lazily below as thoughts of her own parenting journey unfolded in her mind. Raising 19 children had been no small feat, and there were moments of exhaustion, doubt, and overwhelming responsibility. But through it all, her faith had anchored her, reminding her daily of the purpose behind their large family. Each child, including Jinger, had brought unique joys and challenges, shaping her into the woman she was today. Jinger's decision to move to California and start a new chapter far from the familiar rhythms of Arkansas had initially surprised Michelle. For someone who valued tradition and close-knit family ties, seeing her daughter embrace such a different lifestyle was both bittersweet and inspiring. Yet over time, Michelle came to admire Jinger's courage and independence. Her marriage to Jeremy Volo, a former soccer player turned pastor, seemed like a beautiful union rooted in shared values and mutual respect. Together, they were building a life that honored God while forging their own path. Upon landing in Los Angeles, Michelle was greeted by the warm California sun streaming through the terminal windows. She retrieved her luggage and made her way to the car rental desk, where she opted for a modest sedan rather than something flashy or extravagant. Practicality had always been second nature to her, and she saw no reason to change now. As she navigated the highways leading toward Rancho Cucamonga, where Jinger and Jeremy lived, she marveled at the stark contrast between this bustling urban landscape and the serene countryside of Tontatone, Arkansas. When she finally arrived at their home, a cozy suburban house surrounded by palm trees and manicured lawns, Michelle felt a wave of relief wash over her. Jinger greeted her at the door, radiant despite the late stage of her pregnancy. They embraced tightly, tears welling up in both their eyes. "Mom, I'm so glad you're here," Jinger whispered, her voice thick with emotion. Michelle smiled softly, brushing a strand of hair from her daughter's face. "I wouldn't miss this for the world," she replied. Inside, the house buzzed with activity. Jeremy was busy setting up the nursery, meticulously arranging stuffed animals and blankets in preparation for the baby's arrival. Their two older children, Felicity and Shepherd, played happily nearby, oblivious to the significance of the day ahead. Michelle took a moment to soak it all in, the laughter, the love, the sense of anticipation hanging in the air. It reminded her of her own early days as a mother, when every milestone felt monumental and every challenge brought opportunities for growth. Over dinner that evening, the conversation flowed easily. Michelle listened intently as Jinger shared updates about her pregnancy, expressing gratitude for her health and the support of her husband. Jeremy chimed in occasionally, sharing anecdotes from his pastoral work and offering lighthearted jokes to keep the mood cheerful. Despite the distance between them, Michelle realized how much she admired the way Jinger and Jeremy balanced their roles as parents, partners, and individuals. They embodied grace under pressure, a quality she hoped to impart to all her children. The next morning dawned bright and clear, signaling the beginning of what promised to be an unforgettable day. After breakfast, Michelle accompanied Jinger to the hospital, where doctors confirmed that labor was progressing steadily. Settling into the birthing suite, Michelle prayed silently, asking for strength and peace for everyone involved. Hours passed in a blur of contractions, breathing exercises, and encouraging words. Through it all, Michelle remained steadfast, offering gentle reminders of God's presence and provision. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, The sound of a newborn's cry filled the room. Tears streamed down Michelle's face as she watched Jinger cradle her baby, a healthy baby boy, against her chest. In that sacred moment, surrounded by love and wonder, Michelle felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. This was more than just the birth of a child. It was the continuation of a legacy, a testament to the enduring bonds of family and faith. As the hours turned into days, Michelle cherished every opportunity to bond with her grandson. She marveled at his tiny features, noting subtle resemblances to Jinger and Jeremy. Holding him close, she whispered prayers over him, asking God to guide and protect him throughout his life. She also took time to connect with Jinger, discussing the realities of postpartum recovery and offering advice gleaned from years of experience. Their conversations were honest and heartfelt, strengthening the already deep connection between mother and daughter. Before returning to Arkansas, Michelle helped tidy up the house, ensuring everything was in order for Jinger's transition back home. She spent one last afternoon playing with Felicity and Shepherd, delighting in their giggles and boundless energy. As she hugged each member of the family goodbye, she felt a pang of sadness, knowing she'd soon be separated from them by miles. But she reminded herself that distance couldn't diminish the love they shared. On the flight back to Arkansas, Michelle reflected on the profound impact of the past week. Attending Jinger's birth had been a gift beyond measure, reaffirming her belief in the beauty of family and the power of faith. Though her role as a mother had evolved over the years, her commitment to nurturing and supporting her children remained unchanged. And as she looked forward to future visits and milestones, she carried with her the knowledge that love transcends boundaries, uniting hearts across generations and geography. In the end, Michelle knew that being present for Jinger's special moment wasn't just about celebrating the arrival of a new baby. It was about honoring the journey of parenthood itself. From the highs to the lows, the triumphs to the trials, it was a journey marked by sacrifice, patience, and unconditional love. And for Michelle Duggar, there was no greater privilege than walking alongside her children as they navigated its twists and turns, hand in hand, heart to heart. Jill Duggar, one of the most recognizable members of the Duggar family from TLC's *19 Kids and Counting*, has long been a figure of public interest. Her journey as a mother, wife, and homeschooling advocate reflects her deeply held values, while also showcasing her adaptability in navigating life's challenges. Despite initially enrolling her oldest child in public school, a decision that surprised many given her family's traditional roots, Jill ultimately transitioned to homeschooling her children. This shift highlights her commitment to providing a tailored education for her kids, even as she balances her faith, family traditions, and personal convictions. The Duggar family has always been synonymous with conservative Christian values, large families, and an emphasis on home-centered living. For Jill, these principles have guided much of her parenting philosophy.